Morning, guys. This one's about Mom. Mom was the first one to see, pay attention, pick up on how much I was enjoying Nintendo. The first time I played Nintendo was at my aunt's house, Aunt Jenny. Rest in peace, Aunt Jen. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, and she had a Nintendo hooked up to an old console TV on the floor, and I go in, a couple of my cousins and some of their friends, neighborhood kids, are playing this video game thing. I didn't know what it was. I had never played video games before this point, like Atari. I hadn't played Atari yet. I played Atari later, after I played Nintendo. After I had a Nintendo, I played Atari. So I didn't even know what a video game was at this point in my video game career. Like I said, I was about 4 or 5 years old. The only thing I was doing up until this point was playing with He-Man figures, watching Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man on TV. I had Transformers, G.I. Joes. I was just playing with toys. So I had never seen a video game. Didn't even know what it was. I walk in, they're all sitting on the floor in front of the TV. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I look, and they're playing Super Mario Brothers. And it blew my mind. I really couldn't understand what was going on. But I remember I picked up on it like that. They handed me the controller, and I went to town. And the first time you hit that block and that mushroom pops out, and you grab it, and what the heck is this? He got bigger? So I remember just playing. I was hooked right then. And I always kind of would mess with Aunt Jen about, you're the one who started this addiction, Nintendo playing. And she would always laugh. And but Mom was the one who picked up on that. And Mom, she was the one who always pushed for the games. Dad is a mechanic. He is hardworking and go outside, and that thing's gonna melt your brain. Working on cars, fixing the house up, always 100% go get something done. So Mom was the one who kind of would push for the games. She saw I loved the games. Dad wanted me to go outside and play. And but so for my 5th birthday, I'm pretty sure Mom's the one who pushed for the action set with the orange zapper, man. I'll never forget. It was my birthday, and I was sleeping on the couch, and the rattan couch, it probably was like outdoor furniture, and it had like this palm flower print, bird of paradise, like cushions. And I think we had covered it with a blanket, like a comforter or something. Anyway, I'm sleeping on this thing. And I wake up and I see my mom and my dad like frozen, and they're both holding this Nintendo action set. And I'm like, what? And they are sitting there just frozen and saying, this was supposed to be a surprise. So, anyway, I get the action set for my 5th birthday. I'm pretty sure Mom pushed for that, you know. Like I said, she was always the one that would encourage, or at least not, you know, I don't know what the word is, not encourage the video game playing, you know, discourage the video game playing. But, you know, she would get rentals, you know, and she would play sometimes. Dad played it once. Dad played Nintendo one time, and he was terrible at it. He tried to play Super Mario Brothers, and he didn't. He said, I don't get it, you know, and that was that. He never played again. Mom would play. She played Mario Brothers. She would try to play. You know, I remember she couldn't believe that I, as a child, could get so far in Super Mario Brothers. She couldn't get past some points, and she would hand me the controller, and I would get her past the points. And I think she did end up getting to where she could get to like the last world in Super Mario Brothers. I don't know if she ever got through it. But she would play sometimes. She liked Tetris, and she would play a little bit. And she would get the rentals and stuff, like I was saying. And she bought me Yoshi's Cookie one time for birthday or something. And she bought me Mega Man 6 for Christmas. And that was like, I remember I had opened all my presents, right? Classic story here. I had opened all my presents, and I thought I was done. And Mom says, what about your stocking? I haven't messed with your stocking. Go over to the stocking, pull out a fresh, crisp, sealed Mega Man 6. She knew I loved Mega Man. You know, I had Mega Man 3. That was the only Mega Man I had as a kid. Mega Man 3. I don't know how I got these games. I had a drawer full of games in my room. And I don't know how I got it. Some of them. And Mega Man 3 is one of those ones. I have no idea where I got this game. Because I can count the games I got. Like, for Christmas and birthday. I got Super Mario Brothers 3 and Ninja Turtles. The first Ninja Turtles game. For Christmas or birthday. I think Christmas. From my Aunt Patty. My mom's mom. My mom's sister. And so those were two I remember getting. I had Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. And then I remember getting Yoshi Cookie. This was later on, because Yoshi Cookie was a pretty late release if I'm right. And Mega Man 6. So those I remember getting. So in between Super Mario Brothers 3 and Yoshi's Cookie, I didn't, we weren't picking up games every birthday and Christmas. This was a special thing. I had the Nintendo. I had Super Mario Bros. 3. That was basically like the Super Mario Bros. 3 and the Ninja Turtles. That was basically like, there you go, kid. You're set, for life. You don't need, Mom would rent some games every once in a while for me. And maybe that's where she picked up on that I liked Mega Man. And I don't know. I think Yoshi Cookie was kind of like for her. I think that was maybe I'll get a game for him, but that's one that maybe she wanted to play with me, you know. Little did she know, I can't, you know, I never played Tetris. She probably knew I didn't care for puzzle games, but maybe that it was Yoshi Cookie that I would be interested. Bless her. Thank you, Mom. That was sweet. Wish you would have liked Mega Man a little. We could play Mega Man together. But she did play. So I remember one time she was always looking out for me with the video games, with the Nintendo. She brought home Mylon's Secret Castle one time from one of her friends. She must have seen that they had a Nintendo, and she said, "Oh, my friend said this is a really fun game." So I remember popping in Mylon's Secret Castle and thinking, I remember I didn't care for it, you know. And she was like, "What the heck? You know, you don't like it?" And I was like, "Nah, that one's not for me." Throw Super Mario Bros. 3 back in. She rented Super Mario Bros. 2 one time. And this was after I had Super Mario Bros. 3. Somehow I, you know, did not go in order on the Mario, but I played 3. So when she got 2, she was real excited. She was like, "It's a new one." You know, and I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, 2. This is a new one." I'd never seen it or played it. So I remember throwing it in, and then and you could pick your character. And I was like, "Oh, what? I'm being Toad for sure. Why wouldn't I be Toad? Who? Princess, that's, you know, that's for girls. Mario and Luigi, been there, done that. Toad." And then, of course, you get into the game and it's like, what is this? You know, what am I playing? This is not Super Mario Brothers. And, of course, it's not really. Whatever your opinion is on that, that's fine. For me, that ain't it. That ain't even, I don't even recognize it in the trifecta. It's Super Mario Brothers, it's Super Mario Brothers 3. That other game is what it is. It's not a bad game. It's okay game. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, she would get the rentals, you know. So, Mom, we love you. Thank you for all you did. You were a great mom. She got me the Donkey Kong Country set that I had mentioned before. When I got a Super Nintendo, that was Mom. Donkey Kong Country set. And she was always there with the games, looking out for me. When Nintendo 64 dropped, Mom made sure we got one of those. Christmas release. Got a Nintendo 64. And when she saw that I wasn't really digging the Nintendo 64, it didn't get played a whole lot. Mom went out and got a PlayStation for me, PS1. And that thing got used and abused. Rode hard and put away wet, the PS1 did. I went from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, to PlayStation. That's how that went. Nintendo 64 just, it wasn't. I think the age, you know, I was a teenager and the Nintendo 64 was okay, but man, for me at that time, 13, 14 probably, you know, and that was just the natural progression. I feel like PlayStation was, you know. Anyway, Mom made sure I got a PS1. And then when the PS2 and GameCube and Xbox come out, I went out and got a PS2. And what do you know? Mom comes home with an Xbox and says, check this out. I had a PS2, you know, and I was playing it. And she just thought the Xbox was cool. You know, so she got me an Xbox. And I remember she got Dead or Alive 3 on it and thought it was awesome. And I really liked that game and played it a lot. And that made her happy, you know. She was the one who, you know, if I wasn't feeling good, stay home from school today. Play your Super Nintendo all day. I'll never forget one time I stayed home from school and played Super Punch-Out all day long. And she was right there. Here's some soup, honey. You know? And just a mother's love. You know? And I love you, Mom. I miss you some days, you know. Thank you for all you did, Mom. And my Nintendo career, you know, Mom was my manager, basically. Mom was my manager, the manager of my Nintendo career. Always like promoting and making sure did her best to make sure I had the coolest thing for the Nintendo stuff when she could. So this one's for Mom, you know, and she left us, you know, earlier this year, and she added some funds to the collection project. So she was a great mom, and she left us some funds for the Famicom collection project. So $300, $300. We're putting it in there, you know. And Mom's in a better place now, and we thank you for she would want it this way. She would want to support this, and she has. Damn it, she has. And we thank you, Mom. You're still funding the Nintendo career. Okay? Still promoting the Nintendo career. And so we're going to get a nice one. Putting $300 in. Surely an homage to my Japanese bloodline today. The absolutely, completely free Super Famicom, Nintendo collection project. And presented by Dr. Wily's Castle, created by my Japanese bloodline. That's how that's going to go. All right. So we got, we had $324, I think. Is that right? Adding $624. Thanks, Mom. $624. Ooh, we're getting good. This is getting good. So,